Hey, welcome back to Richie Bello Live. I'm Lee Wolf, your co-host with White Dove Bird. And today, Richie brought on a special guest, Anthony Petrone with Helm Technology. And we're hoping to dig up some dirt on data here. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good
Morning, Lee.
Good morning, Lee. Thank you for having me on.
Good. Hope you both had a good weekend. So we're going to take like 18 minutes today. So stay with us. And we're going to be giving you an idea of how just for a few dollars a day, we can help you get better use out of your DMS data, understand how to up your retention game, and be more aware of your market penetration. But first things first, we just want to take a quick look at a video on our VIN retention report just to set up the foundation here. So we all know it's commonplace in the auto industry that customers will come and then they go. But why? Was it a better price? Did they go with a different make? Is it a sales training issue? Maybe it's a marketing problem. And if you knew why, could you take back a portion of that business? First things first, you need data. And ShopSmart Autos for Dealers has your solution, the VIN Retention Report. Our VIN Retention Report can give you the inside scoop on VINs you held onto and the VINs you lost. But that's not all. What if you could know where the customers and your VINs ended up? For example, if Mrs. Smith purchased a vehicle from you 2 years ago and traded that vehicle in a mile away for the same make but a newer model, why didn't she come back to you? Now with that data, you can reach out. You can target her with a service deal that brings her back into your dealership and gives her the stellar experience she's looking for, while potentially flipping her back to your sales floor for a deal she never knew she could get. That's just one way our VIN Retention Report can help. So take 15 minutes with us today, and we'll show you how the power of data can increase your ROI with the ShopSmart Autos for Dealers VIN Retention Report. Set up your appointment today. All right, so now that we got a glimpse of the VIN Retention Report, Richie, why don't you just give us an overview of how that's going to change the game?
Yeah, well, that's a lot of points with the data part, right? So it's just like you doing an ad, right? When you do an ad, if you don't do it broad audience, you're going to get a lot of clicks to it. It's going to cost you a lot of money. Well, the same way with data marketing, right? And what we're talking about here, where is the VIN retention really? Why is it good? All right. So let's go back to the automotive history, right? When the dealers were doing direct mail, that piece was managed more by Reynolds and Reynolds with the little cards. They used to give the dealership a printout. You used to go to your DMS, print it out, boom, right? A lot of those customers were like, didn't buy a car, bought a car somewhere else 3-4 years ago. You were getting direct mail pieces when you owned, for example, a Honda and you had a Toyota, you were still getting that piece, right? So what the Reynolds and Reynolds is we have a problem. So what they did back then, it was R.L. Polk and Company. They hired them, and there's a press release out there that Reynolds and Reynolds hired them to clean it up, right? Well, that had to do with registration. That process was good. It was a Band-Aid, but then they learned that the registration data comes in 90 days. So 90 days after that, the party's basically over. And why is that? Why is that party over? Because it's too late. With this data, it's real time. You know, it's real time there, right? And that customer is bought a car somewhere else. Then you have a vendor like Petrone, and what happens to that? Oh, very simple. Anthony's promoting it on bulk email. He might hit the people in market or not the people in market, right? So they have this process with us using our data to clean the cleansingness, to look at the numbers, to see the retention. And I got news for you. If I'm a dealership, right, and Anthony comes to me with a report showing me that I'm 50% off, right? I'm losing my retention by 50%, which is a lot more now, okay? And he shows me that in the same market or in a different market, he's got a customer that's not losing as much. I'm signing with him right now. The only issue is that dealers don't like to give up their DMS information. If you sign stuff with a company like Anthony's and et cetera, there's plenty of companies out there that have that credibility. There's no problem. The CRM, our marketing really doesn't work, you know. I mean, what works is that your own data. That's what really works. Okay. So that's what the issue is. That's the obstacle everybody has, because dealers don't want to give that up. But they go on Google Ads and spend 30, 40,000 a month. And just the cost of acquisition is just ridiculous for a dealership. And then the cost of acquisition and then losing the retention where they're at, it's a loser. It's a loser. I don't care what you tell me, it's a loser. Looking at the data and looking at the numbers, the cost of acquisition, right, is terrible. And then you're losing more customers than you're gaining. I mean, that's a problem. Yes, you're selling cars, but you got to look at each one individual. How much money are you spending on ads? Okay. What is the cost of acquisition? And now, what is your retention? It costs money every time a salesman leaves or anybody in the organization leaves. Why? Because of all the time invested you have in them, which equals money and training. Well, the same way with a customer, it costs you a ton of money when that customer walks away from you.
Absolutely.
A ton of money. So with Anthony's product and process, it's unbelievable. We've been working together for close to 8-9 months. We have a great relationship with Anthony way before that, but we have a good relationship with Anthony. And here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to give this to Anthony and have him go over his whole process.
Yeah. So Anthony, just real quick. So we have the VIN retention report. We can now see the VINs, that we retained. We could see the VINs that we lost. We can now see where they went, where they sold their cars. There's so many different ways we can now break out and target these people and communicate with these people. So where does Helm technology come into play with all that?
Yeah, Lee, good question. So with that said, and Richie, thank you for teeing this up for the audience here. Helm Technologies is, formerly known as ChatterSpot Solution. We're now branding and just going into the stores as Helm Technologies, because we're far more than what we used to just offer as ChatterSpot. So first and foremost, that's out there. Dealers will recognize us with the Helm name because our sister company Helm's been around for 80 plus years. So that's huge. So we've worked with the OEMs for quite some time, based out of the Detroit, Michigan area and nationwide, and also even in Puerto Rico. So have several thousands of clients using us every single day in automotive and wireless, and a few other industries as well. But what we're going to do here with automotive is that we're DMS marketing, and we're certified with Reynolds, CDK, DealerTrack, and then the other DMS companies we're going to use, Authenticom by DealerVault, and use that integration, that direct feed to market for the dealer for sales and service. And we're driving in retention, follow-up, and we can help on their CSI because we're sending out email, we're sending out text, and email to text, a third type of technology that we use. And we help stay in front of the customer with gamified experiences and draw them in. So we'll get them excited about the offer, and then they come in and they'll schedule an appointment for sales or service, and we're helping that dealer stay top of mind. Right. So instead of them spending $5, $6, $7 grand, $8 grand, $9 grand on these other companies that try to do what we do a little bit here and there, maybe just use the CRM, we're working off that DMS, that final data, right? It's because we know their previous sale, we know their information, and then we're using the closed tickets and service to drive that additional business back to their store. We can help them with service, like I was saying, on the recall side. We can do recalls for the dealer, which they absolutely love. And the sales side, we're helping them with several campaigns. Buyback campaigns are huge. That will help them with generating low funnel leads to drive those customers back, because we already have that information from the DMS. So we're able to see when the last time they purchased from the dealer. You can do lease campaigns, where we're driving in that customer back to the dealer to retain them. And then with Richie's report, the VIN retention reporting, we can use that. If they are losing those customers, we'll know where they're going. So now we can better market to those customers then and now to help prevent that loss and them, that dealer losing that customer. So we can use that because we're tying into their DMS. So we have their email, their phone number, their name, their vehicle that they purchased, and it helps us retain the customer for the dealer and then resell them a new car, especially with service to sales. Our service to sales campaign is huge. That's a huge thing going on in the industry right now, where dealers love that or need that type of product in their service department. And they're using the VIP exchange or the upgrade programs, right? So our service to sales campaign can help that dealer do that, retain that customer, generate that opportunity, and stay in top of mind with the customer, right? If I go to service my vehicle and another dealer's messaging me about buying from them, but I never hear a thing about the dealer I'm servicing with, I might go buy and probably will buy from the other dealer that's messaging or sending me emails, and not even purchase from the dealer that I'm servicing my car with. So that's the importance of service to sales and having that DMS connection that we use to generate that business for the dealer.
Wow.
And Anthony, I'm just glad you said that, because here's what the thing is: using the right data, and you've tested the whole thing. We're going to get into that whole thing that we did with our data months ago. But you have another product that's important. There's a lot of dealerships that are using direct mail campaigns. Mr. Dealer, imagine you doing a direct mail campaign and having your data clean enough to launch that campaign and make everybody aware of what's going on. Like, here, let's talk about something, okay? Anthony worked with Cox Automotive in the dealer track side. What's the biggest thing with Cox? They have distribution. They're the king of distribution. Content is king. They are King Kong with distribution, okay? So imagine, Mr. Dealer, you do that same process with King Kong of distribution. We're all very well versed with Cox Automotive and all that, what they do. Anthony, myself, a lot of people know. So just imagine what you could do. You have a direct mail piece, okay? Bang, you send it out. You have a Google AdWords, okay, or you have a Facebook promotion now using that. That's called saturation marketing. It's like you used to do when you used to get direct mail piece and put that slider in the newspaper. Right now, it's the same way. Only difference is the newspaper was broad, and these are your customers in market. And they say in marketing that when a customer sees something at least once, second time or third time, that's when your conversion happens. So even if you are spending money in marketing, okay, you should immediately hire Anthony and his company, right, with that kind of credibility, 80 plus years, right, in different industries. You know, that's a very important thing that a dealer should look at. And now you're adding that as a budget of marketing, because you're going to get tremendous amount of results.
Right. And we're using text marketing. So whenever we're sending out these texts, we can help with the opt-in process too for the dealer. We have opt-in verbiage that's been vetted that they can also share with their attorneys and make sure that they're good for that verbiage on their ROs or buyer's order, depending on what state they're in. And then we will help them with that process. Double opt-ins if they want to go the double opt-in rate for text. And we also would use it on mailers, to your point with the mail, direct mail. They can take the QR code we'll create, put it on the mail, and then you can grab opt-ins from the customers that, you know, aren't opted in for text yet. So now you can communicate to your customer via text, and those are opened up 98% of the time within 3 minutes. I mean, how powerful is that type of solution? We're using the DMS and we're sending text. I mean, it's a marriage made in heaven. So, and we'll help with that with TCPA compliant and FCC compliant. So we follow all the guidelines for marketing with text and email. So,
and let's identify something. What does the OEM look at as far as performance for a dealership? Sales, yes, they do. They look at service a lot, okay? And they specifically look at vehicles in operations. They look at your retention, okay? Because that's where the money is. The automotive industry, if you look at it in the last 40 years, right? 40 years, it has its ups and its downs in service, bad times and good times. It's a cycle. Every 5, 6, 10 years, there's a new cycle that comes into the marketplace. With service, that ain't necessarily true. Actually, the worse the time is, the more money people spend in service because they have to service their vehicles, right? So sales was great, past, right? Now sales we're looking at the average days, and that's how we know that there's a little bit of a hiccup, not so much bad, but a little bit of a hiccup as the inventory is aging tremendously. Either people bought cars, either everybody bought cars the wrong way, or it's low a little bit, right? What does that tell us? That tells us service is key. Service is key right now, and that's where dealers got to start doing it. And the OEMs look at one thing, your average gross, yes, they do, which they don't really care about that because they care about their average gross, which how many cars could we sell them? They care about the turn. They don't care if you give away cars because their philosophy for the last 100 years is service. That's where we make our money. And they're absolutely right. There's dealerships that bang out $2-3 million, in service. You try banging out $2 or $3 million in sales and try to exist, you won't be able to exist. Okay. But in service, you're able to exist because you're talking about 70-60%, right? In sales, you're lucky if it's 2.5%, 3%. Okay. So what you keep, why? Because everything is loaded towards sales, right? All the expenses loaded to sales, and hopefully that's why your retention has to be strong in service, right? But you got something called absorption, right? Right now, the absorption is terrible, all right? So that's a whole thing that's happening in the service departments, and we have a solution for that. And cleaning the data, yes, is good. Knowing where you're at, it's just like, why would you go to Google Analytics? Why not get a report of your customers? I mean, imagine if Google had this, every dealership would sign up in about 2 seconds.
Right.
Okay. So why wouldn't you want to know if you're losing customers or keeping them the same? You can either stay with that process you're doing, and why wouldn't you want to know what your competitors are doing? That's what boggles my mind. Why wouldn't you want to know what your competitors are? If I'm a dealer, I want to know what my competitors in my marketplace is doing, and I have that. We have that report too. And how many customers am I losing? Because if you're losing customers and your competitor is about the same, okay, then that tells you something. There's an opportunity. If you're the only one that's losing it, then there's a problem with your dealership. Okay. Now, if everybody's in the same boat, that's not necessarily good, but let's try to come up with a process, hire a company like Helms Technology and Anthony that really know what to do. And now you can reach out in your marketplace and dominate. It's all about domination and dominate your market. When you dominate your market, you're only going to make more money. So think about this. Let's rehash a minute. Think about this, Mr. Dealer. Your service thing that the OEMs are looking at, vehicles in operation, they're all over the place. And that's not by my numbers. All you got to do is call Experian, get a report, cost you like $1,000, and look at it. It's scary. Scary what's going on in our industry. It's nuts. That's the first thing. The second thing is that DMS marketing for service, you want to start taking in more trades than you ever took. These buying centers, reach out, buying centers, Castle Automotive is one of the most effective buying centers. Just imagine if you add this to, I mean, AutoNation, and the list goes on with all these buying centers. They started since COVID because that's what it was, Companies that are selling you the private seller data, okay, you sell me the private seller data. What do I do with it? Why not do this? Get that data and turn it over to Anthony and have those customers come in. Why not bring in the customers that have serviced your car there, and you have the repair order as the history? So when you go to sell that car, you make more money. And understand something, the money that's made in the car business, it is never made in the sale. It's made in the buy. Talking about used cars, made in the buy, never made on the sale, ever. On the buy, it's made. When you buy that car, right, that's when you're going to make the money. When you take it in on the curve at the right number, that's your profit. Because there's a lot of metrics that it goes by. If you buy it right, you have a good LTV, and you flip that car right away. Bang, you call Anthony on that. You flip your inventory right away. It's very important because now you bought it on the LTV. That customer needs a minimum down payment. Your other competitors are looking at the days in lot, how many cars they have active, and you're flipping your inventory. So there's a lot of things that you should hire Anthony, because very important thing. You have a buying center, let's call Helms Technology. You have a service issue, let's call Helms Technology. You got an RO problem, your ROs have dropped, your vehicles in operations have dropped, call Anthony. You got a sales issue. If you're doing any type of marketing, I don't care what it is, it could be Facebook, could be Google, could be direct mail. Why not add Anthony to that system? When you add him, you're going to get a much better result, and you're reaching out to your customers. That communication process, how important it is for your brand. Just the fact that you're reaching out to those customers. That's all. Just that alone is great, because now the customer says, wow, this guy's reaching out to me, and it's a very important product, and it's a very important process. And I think that it's extremely important. And Anthony, talk about you using our data when you started testing all that. You liked our data, is that correct? That's why we're here today.
Yeah, I loved it, and I love it today. And I just think it's very positive. It's very proactive to actually use it as well with the dealer, because you can take that VIN retention data and we can use it. We already have the integration with their DMS, and now we can match it up. And we do that with also the leads that we'll see, right? Well, from their CRM, if they want to do the CRM prospecting, we'll see which ones are in the DMS already and which ones are not. And then we can run their customers' email and cell phone numbers through a quality rating and check that information. And then back to your report. Now we can see what vehicle they don't have anymore, right? If it's listed somewhere else, we know they bought it from you at your store in X city, but it's listed over here now today in this other city. They don't own that vehicle anymore. So now we can take that vehicle off their name, and now you're not marketing to them about the wrong car. That's one of the biggest problems dealers have. They're sending out direct mail. The customers, they haven't had that car in 2 years.
Right.
So if they had the DMS marketing and with your VIN retention reporting intact with us, now we can, market to them about the correct vehicle right now today.
Right.
Which is huge.
The most important thing also, Anthony, is, these dealers need to really start pumping it up with you, because they're using marketing, right? Well, reach out to your customers, create saturation marketing. You have a platform that is your own data. Why not use that data to better enhance? And you got so many different products in that data because let's face it, the automotive sector, in the dealer sector, you got new car sales, used car sales. Those are two departments. Service department, third. Parts department, fourth. And finance department. All 5 departments Anthony can help you with. You know what that is? 5 departments. When you do a Google AdWords, there's no help with service there and sales. When you do a Facebook ad, there's no help there. With Anthony, there is. I'd say if you're reaching out to that customer on a consistent basis, right? You put Anthony on some sort of deal every month, your customers in service, you're going to start increasing your service department just because you're touching the customer. That's it. Only that, without any other campaign of just touching the customer.
And when the dealers come on with us, they see their inactive and loss go down. Most dealers are seeing their inactive and loss go up. So with us, they're going to see that go down. So that's a good thing because we're getting back in touch and helping them bring those customers back for that retention. So that's big. I mean,
and every other business uses a lot of email marketing, right? And they do a lot of SMS now. I mean, the digital marketing industry is blown up with that, and all these things that are happening. It's very, very important to use this platform. Why? Because other industries are using that. They want to touch base with you. I get texts that I say, I'm not interested right now. And I never want to opt out because it's good information to have. Okay. And they'll stop a little bit and then they'll come back and they'll have a nice and polite thing with the AI, SMS for appointment settings and all that. It's a different world today. But they stay in touch with you. That's the biggest thing. In the automotive industry, as the dealer sector, we never stayed in touch with customers. We wanted the customers, listen, just do an ad. All right? There's no traffic in the showroom. Just do it. There's no prospecting. There's none of that, There's none of that, There's just about, they sit in the showroom floor, the salespeople, and do this and drink coffee or drink whatever they do today. Who knows? Smoke cigarettes. Hang out, this, that. There's no traffic. Just whining and whining and whining. They don't know how to do anything. They're not proactive. So today, you don't really have to know how to do much. Today, you just, Mr. Dealer, just hire a company like Anthony that reaches out to your customers. Now you have that product line in front of your face. What is that product line called? I call it Prospect Like a Gold Miner. That's what it is. Okay? Which is what I have written, and all that. Prospect Like a Gold Miner. You know what Prospect Like a Gold Miner was? It was going to a restaurant and putting out your card, your business card, and saying, somebody from here went to my dealership to buy a car. There ain't salespeople that do that no more. So that being said, this product has tremendous amount of value because salespeople don't go out and prospect anymore in the car business. A few do, but it's less. People don't do that no more. People just sit there and wait for traffic. We're in a different world right now. Oh, that's great. So let's hire this company because now I don't have to worry about going after my salesman. Are you prospecting? Which they're not really good. You know what a salesman's good at? Put somebody in front of me and I'm going to sell them. Okay? That's why BDC came out. That's why the evolution of all these things came out. Get you in front of the salesperson. What's the BDC good for? Incoming calls, incoming leads, however that customer is getting back to you. All right. That's what they're good at. So you got to identify what people are good at and what people are not, and forget about what they're not good at because that ain't their talent, and focus on what they are good at. I mean, we're all supposed to be leaders. That's what we do. Right. And not beat a dead horse of somebody that's not really good at it, So, Anthony, what are your thoughts behind using your product as that?
I mean, I would agree 100% with what you're saying, Richie. Number one, in today's auto industry, and then plugging in Helm Technologies to integrate with your DMS to send out these campaigns. It's automated. We use AI behind the scenes. You have a performance manager that's launching these campaigns for the dealer, quality checking them, and then driving in those low funnel leads, which we can push to the CRM, we can push to a text portal. However the dealer's equipped to handle them, they're going to get busy once they turn us on in their store, number one. And we're going to generate a ton of ROI. Our dealers primarily see 30 to 50x. Some see over 100x ROI a month. Depends on the size of your database. I'll tell you that. And I've had dealers with us for years using the solution, and they don't stop because every month you have a new clientele that's coming into those cycles. That's why it's called life cycle marketing. So we have it in service and sales. Every month is going to, bring in that new customer that we should stay in touch with for you and help you stay top of mind. And that's the key, is you got to stay top of mind with them that generate the interest in returning to your store and not going somewhere else.
I definitely agree. So, Lee, do you have anything to add to this?
Yeah, well, actually, I just wanted to see if maybe you wanted to spend a moment reminding the dealers about the CarMax event that's coming up.
Yes. So, what I want to say is this: CarMax hit Long Island market, right? So I want to bring in CarMax into our. We have a place that we do this, which is the catering hall, which is called the Beach Club Estate. I want to bring them there. We're planning on Memorial Weekend. Okay. There'll be more information out there, inviting all dealers, right, to sit down and welcome CarMax into the market as a friendly thing. CarMax has a lot of great solutions. We can all learn in Long Island what CarMax has done, and they have a great solution. Hopefully we can learn and welcome one of our major competitors that is not looking to do anything but come to the marketplace. So a lot of dealers have this negative thing about it and all this, but you know what? It's a really positive thing. Competition is really, really good, and take the part as far as learning what they do. And the event will be taking place at the Beach Club Estate, and that'll be for Memorial Weekend. We're getting our marketing materials ready, and it's going to be at no charge to the dealer to come in, sit down, have a little bit of entertainment with us, and go over a nice platform of what we could do.
Absolutely, yeah. I hear guest speakers, unbelievable food, a little entertainment, nice time on the house.
Yeah, nice time on the house. So dealers come on board, and nobody's going to sell you, Mr. Dealer, about Shop Smart, about this, that. We have people out there that do that, like Anthony and all that. There's no vendors going to be, trying to sell you. It's just a friendly thing. There's none of that. It's just about welcoming CarMax. Everybody knows that, I'm always selling, blah, blah, blah. Well, there's going to be none of that. In this event, there's going to be an event just to bring in dealers together. And we're united, we stand. You know what I mean? That's all it is. All right.
All right. Well, it's looks like it's time to wrap up here. Rich, thanks for having me here today, and thank you very much for bringing in Anthony. It sounds like everything Helm Technologies offers would blow up anyone's ROI. So I think you'd be crazy not to at least take a look. And that's it. I hope you both have a good day. Anthony, thanks again for being here.
Thank you, Lee, and thank you, Richie. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Anthony. Have a great day. Lee, thanks a lot again. I can't say thank you enough to both of you guys. And Anthony is the one that has our data, has our VIN retention, one of them. There'll be a few other people coming into the live show. And that's how we're selling our stuff with companies like Anthony. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Have a great one.
You too.
All right, bye.